just like all the other kids did. I rode my bike everywhere I went. I loved to swim and run. But I never really learned any self-control. There was always too much access to food, and I took all of that access as eat what you want when you want. And it resulted in me being pretty big for the majority of my life. It wasn't until I got to college that I even thought about self-control. I took a weight training class and got into martial arts. I started training way too hard, eating not enough. I was constantly exhausted and irritable. I had insane body dysmorphia. I weighed 200 pounds and I was the epitome of skinny fat. I made a lot of unhealthy lifestyle choices. And at the end of it, I wasn't happy. Then I got a big boy job. I got to travel for work, which means I was on the road a lot, which means diet was difficult, fitness was difficult. I watched as all of the hard work that I had put in during college slowly drifted away. The appetite never left, but the muscle did. Before I knew it, I was huge. I was enormous. I remember seeing videos of myself and just being disgusted that I had let myself get to that point. I was so embarrassed with myself that I just convinced myself that it was what it was. And there was no way to change it. I didn't have the time, the energy, the patience, drive. It was so much easier to just keep eating. Because food made me happy. At least I thought it did. And then eventually, I decided I needed to know. I had been scared of the scale for such a long time, and I couldn't wait anymore. And I stepped on that scale, and I never thought I would see over 300 pounds, let alone 315. And it was earth-shattering. I didn't know what to do. I remember sitting on the couch with my buddy Alan, and I remember him saying, you know, the first step is standing up off of that couch and going for a run. And in that moment, I did. I put my shoes on, strapped on my Apple Watch. I downloaded Strava because Alan told me that if it's not on Strava, it doesn't count. And we walked out the front door. And we started jogging. And I remember telling myself, whatever you do, Evan, don't stop. You can slow down, but don't stop. For 3 miles, I ran. We ran together. Well, I plodded. It took me almost an hour to run 3.5 miles. There were points where Alan was doing his best to be kind and hold a running pace, but he had to stop and just walk sometimes because I was moving so slow that it was uncomfortable for him to even hold a run position. And while it wasn't, fun, it felt good. And I didn't stop. And that was when I realized I still had the fight in me that I had before. People talk about how they have that dog in them, and mine was chomping at the gate, just waiting for it to open. And that workout was that opening for me. And so I signed up for the Hermosa Beach Triathlon in 2023. I started my first training program, and I raced. I now know that this is the best shape I've ever been in my life. I've completed 5 triathlons. I'm so much more comfortable in my skin from a fitness perspective. But I've never been able to get control of the weight. I've fluctuated down all the way to 250 at one point, all the way up to 290 again. And I swear to God, I never want to see a 300 at the front of that scale. Not again. And so that's why we're here. I'm here because I want difference. I want to change. I want to finished all of the races that were lined up for this year. Next one isn't until March of next year. So the next training block doesn't start until November. It gives me about 12 weeks. So in that 12 weeks, I would like to try to lose about 30 pounds. I weighed in at 279.1 this morning. So I'm looking at about 249.1. I'm going to be putting a lot of my focus on weight training as well as cardio. I'll still be doing my 3 disciplines. A lot of my focus is going to be on counting my calories, making sure I'm getting my steps in every day, working on staying in that caloric deficit. I'll always be a triathlete. I don't know if I can give this up at this point. I'm in love with it. And I have big plans for triathlon moving forward, and I think that this weight loss is going to just be that next stepping stone that helps me get to the next level of athlete that I want to be. I decided to start with a 2,500 calorie a day diet. I'll be doing 5 cardio sessions a week and then 5 lifting sessions a week. As of right now, I think I've been lifting for just about 2 months, so I kind of have a base. I'll do an upper body, lower body split, and then after a rest day, switch to a push-pull legs. I got this idea from a Jeff Nippard video. It just kind of gives me a little bit of variety. It works with my schedule, and I think it'll help me to hit those goals I'm looking for. I think that the 2,500 calories is a good place to start. It's either going to be way too low, and I'm going to be miserable, and I'm going to have to up the calories in order to maintain my level of energy, or it might be just right, and I'll lose a little bit of weight, I'll lose a couple of pounds, and then in about 2 to 4 weeks we'll reassess and see how I feel, what my energy levels are like, and we'll go from there. I have some systems that I've developed that I'm going to put into place to help me stay accountable and to build that discipline, and I'm just going to keep on moving. There's a lot of big plans for the future, not just as a person, but as a triathlete.